Hello, vinyl community. I'm Gary, and this is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for joining me, and cheers. So this is a episode of Used Vinyl Finds. So when I say used vinyl finds, that's exactly what I mean. Everything you will see in this video is something that I found out in the wild, either in the bins, the used bins at a record store, or possibly a Goodwill type store, a thrift store, as you will. And I love these kind of videos, by the way. I like to use vinyl finds because nothing here, I didn't get anything through the mail, nothing was brand new, anything like that. It's all about the thrill of the hunt and just being able to find treasures out there. I just got done watching a video by my buddy Steve over at the Ralstonian Music Report, and he had a couple records there that he found that were excellent that I would totally pick up if I saw them. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to start off with the Sanford & Son aspect of my video, and by that I'm going to show a record that I told myself I'm not going to buy records like this anymore that look like this, but I couldn't help it. On this particular one, you're saying, well, some of you know what this is right away, and some of you are like, what is that piece of crap? Obviously, there's something missing here, and it's a hologram picture, because this is their Satanic Majesty's Request. This is the Rolling Stones, of course. I'm trying to open this up. Sorry. That's from 1967, and yes, this looks beat up and everything, but it is a mono copy. And it is extremely hard to find this record out there, and I only paid a few bucks for it, so I had to pick it up. It's got Citadel is on here, and that is one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs. So, eventually I'll get a better copy. All right, I realize that's just a placeholder. Next up, I got this. This is New Moon on Monday. This is a one of those 12-inch singles that I got. It's got Tiger Tiger on the flip side. I'm not really sure why I bought it from Duran Duran, but it was only $1. I got that at Goodwill, believe it or not. Next up is one of my favorite artists, and that is Mr. Alice Cooper. This is his Special Forces album. This is from 1981. This was during his famous blackout period where he doesn't even remember recording all the parts of these albums. This is very much in the new wave vein. He did a few albums like this. This comes after Flush the Fashion. It's got the song Who Do We Think We Are on here, which was a really cool song. If you're an Alice Cooper fan, you still want this album, okay? If you're not into Alice Cooper, I don't know. My next one, I got some good ones. Now, this is not one for my good buddy Jeff Witcher, but I can't help it. I got me another Jackson Browne, and this is Lawyers in Love. I'm sure, maybe my maybe my buddies Rich Strickler and JT from JT's Record Room right now are saying, oh, they probably don't like this era of Jackson Browne. I don't know. But I love the title track on this. Lawyers in Love is one of my favorite Jackson Browne songs. I can't help it. I love that whistle part on here, and this is in excellent shape. Do I have that upside? Yeah. You see it's got a custom label on this sucker, so very happy to find that. Plays great, and I like it. I like that record. Next up, sorry, if I can grab hold of it here, is from 1984. I have Love Life by Berlin. I really love the cover of this album. It has a very old-time kind of feel, very beautiful cover. This one is, Berlin, if you're not familiar with them, but they are a pop band, a synth pop type band, a little bit maybe on the new wave type side of things. This record is in excellent condition. Well, I'll go ahead and grab this one out real quick. As you can see there, it's on Geffen Records. It basically looks unplayed. This, of course, has the hit No More Words on here, which that's one of my favorite songs of theirs. I like the inside jacket of this too. I love that picture of Terry Nunn and the band there. So that was a great pickup. Not that uncommon of a record, but to find it in that good of shape, not always as easy. Next up is the Cars' Greatest Hits. This is the original Greatest Hits. I know they have re-released it, and I understand, like from friends like Aaron, that it sounds super awesome. This still sounds pretty good. Glad to have this. This I also got at a Goodwill, believe it or not. So this was dirt cheap. And it only has, I think, one song off of Panorama, which I love that album. But when you've got albums like their debut album and Candio, you're going to lean heavily on that. But this goes throughout their career, and this is just great to have when you just want to listen to their big hits and stuff. This is awesome record. Next, from 1978, this is Warmer Communications from Average White Band. This is also not that uncommon out there, but to find one where it's in fairly decent shape that's a play on Warner Communications, which was their parent company at the time, but they called it Warmer Communications. Anywho, this next one, really surprised to find this in good shape, because early Pink Floyd, Adam Hart Mother, you don't normally find used copies of this in good shape. It's kind of hard. I rarely do. I know I've had to buy the older stuff. Usually I have to get a repress of it. So when I found this, of course, it's on that rainbow looking Capitol label on that, as opposed to like Harvest. In really good shape. This is from 1970. Not my favorite Pink Floyd album, but it does have a cow on the front, so that made me want to buy it. Plus, it has a song, Fat Old Son, which I really do like that song quite a bit. So, final pick that I've got. This is from 1983, and this is probably the one I was really excited to find, because I don't know that I've ever seen this out in the wild to where it wasn't priced quite a bit. It's a controversial album from this band, and that is Born Again by Black Sabbath. This, of course, is from 1983. This is the album that had Ian Gillan on it from Deep Purple. Made an album with Black Sabbath, and this was after Dio was gone. They had that debacle. Black Sabbath made two amazing albums with Dio in Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, and then they put out the live album, and then there was this. It kind of was a big surprise to people. This is I like this album, and Ian Gillan, wow, man, he is just screaming on this album a lot, man. I mean, you talk about torturing the vocals sometimes on here. It is crazy. I also think that it has a different sound than previous Black Sabbath. I'm not talking about the mix. I realize a lot of people hate the mix of this album, and it probably should be remastered. But I mean, I still think it sounds okay. But just the guitar lines themselves, the music, it just has a different sound, different feel to it. Very heavy album, but I enjoy it. Here's the back of it. As you can see, Bill Ward was back in the band. Unfortunately, only temporary. His drinking problems started again by the time they were recording this. And by the time that he finished, they had to get somebody else to play drums when they toured. All kinds of problems on the tour. Ian Gillan could not remember the words to the original Black Sabbath songs. He had to try to put notes all over the stage. Of course, like all the shows back then, they had the dry ice and stuff, so he couldn't see them. Messed up a lot. Had the Deep Purple reunion lurking around back there, so he's only on this one album, but this is kind of a must-have for metal fans to hear Ian Gillan sing with Black Sabbath. So very happy to find a good copy of this one. This is also the last album with Geezer Butler for like 9 or 10 years before he comes back. So anyway, hey, those are my vinyl finds. I hope you enjoyed them. I'd like to hear what was your favorite, what's some of the ones you found out there lately. Thank you as always, for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Until the next time, my friends, boom, I will see you down the road.